Good afternoon. My name is Jason Finnerty, staff planner with Tri-County. I've been asked to speak to you today by Tim Reardon and Diane Myers-Krug. I guess because I'm originally from up in the northern part of the state, in the area that is seeing and experiencing a lot of the gas drilling. I was a former resident of Bradford County, and my mom still resides up there, so I periodically go to visit her. And I've also been working with the county commissioners here in Perry County, helping them assess and determine and make recommendations to them regarding their future adoption. Actually, it has been passed by the commissioners, their impact fee ordinance. And so with that, maybe the next slide. Why is the Tri-County Regional Planning Commission considering a model ordinance of this sort? Presently, Tri-County has several model ordinances up on its website. There are two primary ones. One is the subdivision and land development ordinance. One is the zoning ordinance for the region. We are now looking at special purpose ordinances. The Act 13 ordinance is something that staff's been working on here for the last month. And in the region, we have 72 municipalities that have zoning ordinances presently. And there is a definite need to try to assist them in laying out some type of boilerplate structure that they could maybe work into their process for amending their local zoning ordinances. So with that, there are also some other lesser important needs, but that was the principal driving force. The Act 13 basically identifies that a municipality may, prior to the enactment of the local ordinance, request the commission, in this case, to review the proposed local ordinance and to issue an opinion on whether it violates the MPC. Everybody knows the MPC, Municipalities Planning Code. Commission refers to the PUC, as Ed had mentioned earlier. Chapter 30, the center chapter refers to Chapter 33, which is the actual local ordinances relating to oil and gas operations, and that's where a lot of the zoning provisions in the Act are coming from. So, next slide, Diane. In essence, these are the issues facing municipalities. Yes, their local land use self-governance, so to speak, has been superseded. The particular land uses that became the focus of this particular act were oil and gas operations, natural gas compressor stations, natural gas processing plants, and underground gas storage. That's where this particular ordinance that we've worked on are focusing on in terms of the particular uses that the Act has highlighted. So it also gets into performance standards as well as setback distances in particular. And then lastly, you have your time constraints that are applied to everything in terms of when consistency with the Act needs to take place. Next slide, Diane. Let's see. I wanted to also mention with that last slide, if you can go back one. The Act clearly states that local ordinances shall allow for the reasonable development of gas resources. The section reference is 3304. The other thing is that in order to make sure that happens, the Act asserts its control over the land uses, setback distances, and performance standards. So now you can go next slide. I'm not going to go through all of these sections, but there's a listing of the sections in the model. Many of them, next slide. I put a real quick grouping together of what the sections are. The first 7 or 8 include general standard requirements and generic provisions that you're going to find in a lot of local ordinances that amend existing ordinances. The second grouping deals with a lot of the procedural issues and the parameters set up for the scope of the actual amendment. And then we get into the particular permitted uses in a couple of the districts. And then lastly, looking at the conditional uses. Oh, that one came up last. I did insert an appendices. Ed had mentioned it, and I think you'll find it very helpful to a lot of the municipalities. It lays everything out pretty nicely. And maybe if I have time at the end, we can maybe pop it open so that everybody can kind of see it on the screen. For all of the municipalities in the region, they had originally been assigned a 120-day time frame to implement the changes. A Perry County judge, Judge Quigley, who is now on the State Commonwealth Court, has made a ruling in an effort to give municipalities some additional time. Give it another click there. The new date, the new deadline from the decision with the injunction is August 9th of this year. So there is some time to get ordinances out there to PUC and get a response back if the agency is ready to receive them and can comment back. So following today, I guess we're looking at maybe the next steps for staff in this process. We'd like to go out and seek the PUC's review of this model ordinance, get those comments back, make any necessary edits to the model, and notify the municipalities after the document is up and posted on the website. So with that, I guess I'm through. If anybody has any questions. Diane, do you want to just maybe throw that up on?
A copy of the model ordinance Jason's talking about is in the back of your packet, so you have that for your reference.
Oh, then we don't have to bring it up on the screen.
Okay. Jason, what do you know about underground storage?
The model ordinance does have underground storage provisions placed in it. It is referring back to, I think, DEP for the permitting process, which I think the State Act has specified to be the case. Correct me if I'm wrong if anybody sees anything different in that, but I think that's how those particular provisions were placed in there.